So we're on now to part 3 of this 5-part saga, and this time we're going to be talking about the... Actually, no, sorry. I just got back from a walk. It's very hot out here in Florida. I don't know if you know this, but there's this giant thing called a fucking heat dome over us, and yeah, I needed some time away from the screen, so I needed to take a quick walk. So here we go. So if you're wondering why I look so like hot and flustered, there you go. There's your answer. Anyway, so now we move on to part 3 of this saga, and like we've been before, the heroes now have a victory on their hands. They have the Eye of Horus, but still 2 items remain on the list, and the next one they're looking for is the Pentagram of the Wolf. So both sides are kind of confused of what is the Pentagram of the Wolf. Like, what exactly does that entail? And why is it so important for either side to claim it? So basically, what it is that the Pentagram of the Wolf is basically this druidic power that first allowed the first werewolves to become, the first people to become werewolves. Like, essentially, it was the thing that made werewolves, but also has a lot of druidic energy through the earth and can basically channel energy and also be used as basically like a gate. Like, basically, it can be used as a doorway to other realms. So Marco basically tells his fellow monsters, we need this if we are to ascend to our to the next level of our plans, and in order to do that, we need to find the Pentagram of the Wolf. We'll worry about the Eye of Horus later. We could still bounce back from this. So what happens is that they're like, well, how do we find it? Like, how do we find the Eye of the Wolf? And he's like, well, that's where Randy comes in. All werewolves are all connected to the pentagram. Basically, if you look at under the right conditions, if you concentrate, the pentagram will show up on your hand, and it will act as a direction for us for where we need to go. And he's like, cool. So he basically concentrates, and the pentagram shows up on his hand, and it certain edges of the pentagram glow, basically like a compass to direct where they need to go. So the monsters are off once again. Meanwhile, back with the humans, they're like, well, we need to find the Pentagram of the Wolf, and Toffee's like, well, sadly, we can't find, we won't be able to find it. We'll need to figure out where the monsters are going, because in order to have it, you need like a werewolf as your guide. And none of us got turned into none of us are werewolves, so we need to figure out our next step to figure out where this Pentagram of the Wolf can be. So they have to research. They have to go back to Van Hel's to Toffee's his private mansion, out in the far reaches of England, of far Europe, and comb through his many books in order to discover where this magical charm is. It's somewhere. All they know, it's somewhere out there, and they needed a werewolf as a guide. And Tuffy's like, well, there's no doubt. I thought we could find it on our own, but it turns out we do need a werewolf in order to pull this off. So I'm gonna need to make some phone calls to some people. So what Toffee does is basically trace back to where Randy Cunningham lived, and back to Norrisville, and he's like, I'm going on a hunch here. So he does get in contact with Howard, who survived the whole ordeal of Randy's rampage. But what happens next is that he discovers that during Randy's attack, he accidentally, he bit Teresa. So she's been a werewolf this whole time, and Howard, like in care of her, has been trying to, make sure that that she's not harmed or killed, or if Randy can find her, because he's like, yeah, my friend, that's not my friend anymore. Like what I saw on that day that tore through the town, yeah, that wasn't my friend. Like the Randy Cunningham I know is gone. So what we need to do is figure out where he went. Anyway, so from there, they basically find Teresa, who's Howard's been have locked up at like the bottom of his home, and she's already like werewolfed out. But they managed to Toffee basically used like a spell mixed with silver to calm her mind, and he's like, I need hello, I'm Dr. Toffee. I need you to help us find Randy, because he's helping some very dark forces and we're fighting for nothing less than the soul of the very earth itself. So Teresa agrees, uses the charm on her hand. She basically focuses and gets the pentagram on her hand and starts to help them find where they're going. So they follow Teresa, and their journey leads them to the wilderness of Scotland, where the first druids created the first werewolves. However, the problem is the monsters already got there first, and they're already trying to dig out because this pentagram of the wolf is underneath this giant tree. It's underneath this giant tree, and they're trying to claw and dig at a way to get it out. So the humans and the monsters once again engage in battle, and Teresa encounters Randy, and she's just like, look what you've become. Look what you did to me. Do you understand that what you're doing? You're making a world. You're trying to make a world that, your parents would hate you for. And he's just like, you don't understand. I have done things, and I'm no longer human. And you're not human either. Look how, Howard treated you. Look what you became. I gave you that, and not on purpose, and I'm sorry about that, but we can basically build a world together like you wanted. You and I can have an Eden after this is over. What do you think's gonna happen? What do you think is gonna happen to you if they kill me? They're not gonna need you anymore, and Toffee's just gonna see you as another monster. So, as far as I'm concerned, as far as you should be concerned, I should say, yeah, probably our best bet is to team up with us. So Teresa is like, okay, you're right. Now they have another monster on their hands, and Toffee's forced to kill Teresa with a silver bullet. But the monsters do get the pentagram of the wolf. It's this this stone with a pentagram carved on it, and it's glowing dark energy from it. So they get away with it, and that's now a win for the monsters. However, there's still one more thing that's required that both sides need to keep out of the other's hands, and that is the Necronomicon. Again, not the Evil Dead Necronomicon, the H.P. Lovecraft version of the Necronomicon, and now it's real. It's time to get real. It's full on. We got shit to do. We got this needs to end. And one way this is either going to end with the humans winning or the monsters winning. And that's where we'll leave off for part 4. I hope you guys have been really enjoying this. Like I said, it's fun to finally do a culmination of all of this, to finally do this as a full-on massive story, and I hope you all have been enjoying it so far. So you guys tell me in the comments below what you guys thought of this part, and stay tuned for part 4.